Good morning, David. Are you living or are you living walking like a giant? Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Daily Huddle. I want to kick this off officially by having each of you, if you can hear my voice, get up out of your chairs, get up out of those chairs. I want the universe to understand wherever you are. Out of those chairs, arms up.
I am standing.
There you are. Here's the thing that I want the universe to understand. I want the universe to understand this morning that we have giants in these rooms today. Repeat after me. I am invincible. I'm unbreakable.
I'm unbreakable.
I'm unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable.
Unshakable. I am a giant. Now give yourself
I
a
am a
hand.
giant.
I am a giant.
There you are. Now give yourself a hand. All right, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here this morning because you are so close to living that dream that allows you to do exactly that, walk like a giant. Now, here's the thing. This is not just any ordinary dream. This is the dream that keeps you up at night. This is the dream that wakes you up first thing in the morning. This is that dream that reminds you every time you look in the mirror that life has more for you. Today, we get to walk out of this room with the ability to grab hold of that dream and live it. Now, like I said, you're so close. You're doing all the right things so far. As a matter of fact, you're so close you can smell that dream, you can taste it, you can feel it, and you can almost reach out and grab it. But for some reason, we haven't been able to quite get over that hump, over that last hurdle. Well, today, we get over that last hump and that last hurdle. I'm going to give you 3 things that I believe most of us forego, and in foregoing those 3 things, we don't get to live our dreams. Those 3 things, once we're done today in the next 15 minutes, if you listen and simply apply those, I promise you will change your game. That being said, and with only having 15 minutes, I say we jump right in. Are you ready? Yes, good.
Yes.
The first of my 3 things that I want to give to you today that will allow you to walk out of this room and not walk average, but walk like a giant is, and write this down, absolute belief. Absolute belief. Why is absolute belief so important? I'll tell you. If your dream is as audacious and as crazy sounding as it should be, the moment you tell most of your friends and most of your, especially your relatives, your dream, they're going to tell you to do what? Don't quit your day job. That means that when you start this journey to walk and live that dream, you typically start by yourself. The great thing about having absolute belief is that it is contagious. If you believe, sooner or later, others will believe, and sooner or later, everyone will believe. I'll give you a prime example. Any football fans out there? If you're not a football fan, you've definitely heard about the story that I'm going to tell you about now. And the guy in particular that I want to talk about. Tom Brady. Love him or hate him, Tom Brady, I heard that laugh. Tom Brady has brought tears to me as a Falcons fan and to most football fans for years. But this year, Tom Brady did something incredible. Tom Brady left a perennial powerhouse and went to a team that could not even spell playoffs. They had not been in so long. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady did something that a giant does. He walked into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization with one thing: absolute belief. And throughout this season, you saw it begin to be contagious. People started to buy in. No matter the games lost, no matter what was happening, they bought in. And what happened? This playoff season, Tampa Bay Buccaneers shocked the world. They went through everyone that we thought would beat them until they ended up in a Super Bowl game with a team that we knew would beat them. The Kansas City Chiefs, last year's Super Bowl champions, and a team that was supposedly unbeatable. But what happens when you have absolute belief and you spread that and you allow it to do what it does naturally, become contagious? You do what Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to do about a week ago, and that is upset and shock the world. Now, the same thing that they did, we can do. We all have that ability to do what? Shock the world. And the world is waiting on us. We just have to figure out how we're going to do it. And it starts with that absolute belief. So first thing, so you walking like the giant that you are and leaving behind how you've been walking is to walk in absolute belief. The second thing, and please write this down, is your team. Ladies and gentlemen, you are only as good as the team around you. And if you don't forget anything else, don't ever forget this. You can't do anything incredible by yourself. Look at a Muhammad Ali. Look at a Michael Phelps. Look at a Tom Brady. Look at anyone phenomenal, and what you will find behind them is a phenomenal team. So my advice to you today is take a look at who surrounds you. Take a look at who is in your ear. Take a look at the voices that are feeding you, because what they are feeding you is ultimately what you are living. My challenge to you, ladies and gentlemen of the Daily Huddle, is to leave this 15 minutes and take stock not only of who you are and where you want to go, but how you're going to get there and who you want to help you walk in that journey. That is paramount, because I'm telling you, on the hardest days, when you need to lean on someone, call someone, what are they going to tell you? Are they going to tell you, you got this, don't give up, or it's time to pack it in? My friends, you have everything inside of you that you need to do this. But again, we were created not to be able to do this by ourselves. So the quality of your team will literally end up being the quality of how you live your dream. I think you all, each one of you, if you're listening today, are listening not by chance, but on purpose. And so when you leave here, get a pen and paper and do what you need to do to create the quality team around you that's going to literally change your life. Number one, absolute belief. Number two, creating that team around you that's high performance and that's going to allow you to live your life. Number three, and I think this is probably most important, is managing your time. Time management, write that down. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to time management, and write down my definition of time management. Time management is simply you foregoing distraction to live your absolute best life and execute your dreams. That is time management. It comes down to not your plans, not your planner, because you can have the best laid plans and get one email or one phone call in the morning and those plans are shot. We've all had those days. For me, and the thing that I want to convey to you today is that time management is how you manage the distractions, and they will be there. I want to talk about one distraction that we all have, that we're all guilty of, that you need to correct today in order to walk away from this talk and able to live your dreams. And that one distraction, that's cell phone. We all have them. The cell phone was created to enhance our lives, to make our lives easier, better, stronger, and instead it's crippling us. How many of you right now can remember 5 phone numbers of your 5 favorite people? I guarantee you can't. I can't. Here's the other thing about a cell phone. A survey was done recently about the number of times we pick up and check our phones throughout the day. And if you are on this call, I'm betting that you are type A, that you are a go-getter, that you are an achiever. And it's saying that if you are any of those things, on the average, we pick our phones up 500 to 700 times per day. Think about that. What that means is that throughout your day, things you're doing are constantly being interrupted. More importantly, what that means is that the time, the relationships, the quality time that you need to spend with other people, you're not getting that quality time in. And those are the people typically that miss out the most are your families. I lost my mom 1 month ago this weekend. As a matter of fact, I was to be on the Daily Huddle the week that she passed. The one thing that I am so happy about is that I learned to put the phone down and just have she and I time. The one thing that I hate is that I didn't learn that lesson quite as well as I wanted to, because there's still times when I remind myself daily, I could have put the phone down. What I'm telling you is that there's someone that you love, someone that depends on you, your kid, your spouse, your best friends that are going through things that we daily don't know about, that don't have as much time as we think that they actually have. And the one regret that you don't want to have is for something catastrophic to happen in any number of areas. And you realize that you could have changed the way that person felt, thought, or just live life by simply doing what? Putting your phone down. My advice to you when it comes to that cell phone is learn to manage your phone and not have your phone manage you. To get in the habit of creating blocks in your day. And in those blocks, you would check your phone. In those blocks, you will answer emails, you will answer texts, you will answer the pertinent things that need to be answered. But outside of those blocks, you will be the amazing, creative, spontaneous greatness of a person that you are. And you can't do that as long as we allow that cell phone and other distractions to run our lives. I'll give you 3 things today in 15 minutes that if you employ these things walking out of this talk, I guarantee you they change your life. You have 2 walks you can take. You can walk the walk of average that most of us walk every day. And because most of us walk the walk of average and we have greatness within us, we are miserable. Or you can do what I want you to do. You can actually take this challenge, employ those simple 3 things, believe in yourself, create a superior team around you, and start to manage your time better. And I guarantee you, this time next year, you're living radically different. If you don't believe me, use me as a prime example and take a look at where I am today and where I am a year from now. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Lawhorn, and I want to leave you with this. You have everything in you that you need today to walk out of this room and not live a life that you're living, but live a life that you dream of living. My challenge to you is to do that. I started this talk by having you get up and repeat a mantra after me, but I start with every talk. After talking, I end my every talk with the same mantra. But this time, instead of you asleep or being half there, I want you to actually now repeat that mantra with the conviction that you're going to walk out of this room and do it differently after today. So again, I'm going to ask you, wherever you are, get up out of those chairs and get on your feet, not for me, but for yourself, because we want the universe and the heavens to hear this. Repeat after me. I am invincible.
I am invincible.
I'm unbreakable.
I am unbreakable.
I'm unstoppable.
I am unstoppable.
I'm unshakable.
I am unshakable.
Unbreakable.
Now, as you say this, I want you to say it with that ugly face, that pin-up face, all the emotion within you. Are you ready? I am a giant.
I am a giant.
There you are. Thank you. Back to you.
David, I am a giant. I stand 5'6" on the day I wear heels. And I am a giant.
Woo!
I am
That was
that
fire.
because I say so. So thank you for creating us that way. 3 simple, 3 direct, 3 amazing things that we can do to live a life, the life that we dream of. absolute belief in ourselves,
Yes.
a team around us that is exceptional and that we lean on, and last but not least, managing our time, especially that cell phone. Gosh,
Yes.
500 to 700 times a day. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. As the giants you are, what questions or comments do you have for our guest? David, I'd love
Yes.
to hear from you. Inside of those three things, I know it's not just three things. You said three things today because you had 15 minutes, right?
Right.
Now, if you take one of those three things, and particularly the cell phone,
Okay.
I'm as addicted as you are and as everybody else. Before practicing managing your time and managing your cell phone, as opposed to having your cell phone manage you, what was it like? And what is it like today? Was there a quantum leap in productivity for you? What transformed?
A quantum leap in a number of key areas. Number one, you're right, productivity. I think most of us that are super achievers, we focus on that word, productivity, perform. But as a speaker trainer, what I focus on with my clients and that I actually live now is not just performance, but execution. Because as an elite athlete, let's take an athlete for instance, let's take a Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is in the pool and he's performing daily. But is he executing? Is he actually getting those record numbers? Is he actually performing to a level to win medals? And that's called execution, winning that medal and doing those exceptional things. So every day I started to challenge myself to find out how I could not just perform better, but execute better. And the turning point was simply putting my phone down, ignoring those texts, ignoring those emails until a set time. And I started to do something simple. I would give myself an alert on my phone, an alarm that would tell me when it was okay to go back and check and look. And if that phone goes off for most of us, it is so tempting to do it, to check it, right? But when you get out of the habit of managing that time and realizing that every time your concentration is broken, it takes you 7 to 12 minutes to get that level of concentration back. You don't just jump back in. You have to actually regain that level of concentration. So for me, it was number one, productivity and execution. Number two, it was just the relationships around me, friends, parents, just kids that have become so much more incredible, so much more enriching.
You know, it seems to be a myth or maybe an illusion that we can multitask. If I'm hearing you correctly, that is an illusion. No one can ever multitask and do those multiple things as you really want to.
Exactly. That is one of the greatest myths out there. For anyone listening, if you want to do something and be exceptional at it, start to do one thing well at a time. Knock that one thing out and then move to the next. If you're multitasking, you have so much so spread out that you can only give so much of yourself to each of those tasks, and none of those tasks get your absolute best. You, your clients, your family, those of us that are out in the universe that are looking for you, we look and need your best. And you can't give that if you spread that thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Laura Kay, you have your hand up.
I have so many questions, but for this particular thing, when you're talking about your team, like I automatically went to, I have a bookkeeper, I have a CPA, I've got, the people that are my team. But you brought up something really, you switched me over to the people I'm surrounded by. I love that. What is the quote that you're the sum equivalent of the 5 people you spend the most time with?
Yeah.
And so you've got me thinking again about that. It's something that I think about often. And, you kind of take a check of the people you're around. And I love that you brought that to a head as well and brought that up. Is there more that you want to talk about as far as the team goes?
As far as the team goes, Laura Kay, you hit on a golden nugget. most of us think teams as far as that exterior team, the accountant, the other folks that are in your area, that are in your life, that are in your team, that help you daily run your business. But what about before you ever get to your business? What about waking up? What about the team that supports you and creates your mindset so that when you pick up the phone and talk to your accountant, so when you book or talk, so that when you talk to organizers on the next level that you want to actually gain access to, what about the team that creates that you? And that you is created by the team that is closest to you. And those are the people that you wake up with, that you talk to, that you count on, that have nurtured you from birth. And that's typically our family and our closest friends. What we tend to do is not look at those people as a team. We tend to look at those people as that group. And that is your most important team, because again, they have the closest access, they have the closest and the most access to you, which means they are the most influential. And before you get to a coach, a nutritionist, an accountant, an attorney, those people are affecting you first. And so if those people aren't on point for you, then nothing else will be.
What are some of the qualities that you suggest that we look for? Like when we look at our list of the people we spend time with, what are some of the qualities that, maybe that's not the best thing for me, and maybe this is a good thing for me? What would you suggest?
Number one is absolute belief. That friend, that family member, that team member is going to have the same absolute belief in you that you have in yourself. No matter how crazy the dream sounds, they're going to tell you, okay, Lori K, if you want to jump off this bridge, I don't know how we're going to land, but guess what? I'm jumping with you, okay? So absolute belief is first. Support is second. And support comes in to when you go after an audacious, crazy dream, your life changes. There's sacrifices. And the people that support those sacrifices, that support not being able to see you as much as they normally would have, are the people that you want around you. The people that also are going to give you, when I say give you honest, direct, unabashed feedback are the people you want in your life. The people that are going to believe in you, support you, and give you that feedback that you need to grow, but are not going to give you the feedback that you want to hear. If you don't see those three things and those people, I'm not saying cut those people out, but simply redirect for this period in your life how you deal with that group of people. Because you're going to have people that are going to get on the bus or train with you and ride all the way. And you're going to have people that I tell myself they will meet me at the next stop because they can't ride with me right now.
Great.
Got that. Lori K, thank you so much. Gray Wolf, you've got your hand up. Go ahead.
All right. So I have I guess one of the basic questions for this process. Can you talk to us a little bit about the evaluation methodology you use for the support team, for the time management process? I 100% buy into you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And what that's resulted in my own life is working to be the stupidest and poorest person that I know. But I struggle in successfully evaluating time and activity allocation to make sure that it's the highest value effort for the amount of time that I put into it. I'm sorry, that question was a little bit all over the map.
Oh, no, I actually have you. I actually totally understand you. Great. First of all, good morning. And excellent question. My answer to that is, I'm going to tell you what a mentor told me a few years ago, and I managed my time based on this question to myself. When I look at my priorities, and what I'm going to give the most time and most attention to, I'm looking at what is going to drive my dream, drive my business, or drive my finances. So I'm looking at, on certain days, sitting down, asking myself, David, what's going to make you money? If it's not going to make me money, guess what? That day, I don't focus on it. If it's not going to drive my dream, Gray, then I don't focus on it. And if it's not going to drive my overall business, then I don't focus on it. So because you're right, you can actually take a look at priorities and say, okay, this is one of my top 5, one of my top 5, one of my top 5. But typically in a day, I focus on 3 things, just 3. And that's how I come up with those 3.
Thank
You
you.
figure out what's most important for you as far as the ultimate three, and those other things you focus on. You focus on those things daily. It may alter or change a little bit, but you want to actually keep focusing on those things until you feel that you've gotten yourself to a different place in your life. And then you can change that priority list. But for the time being, those three. And that's how you drive those things.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Quite welcome.
Thank you, Gray. Thank you, Laura Kay. Thank you, everyone. You know, the time just flies by so fast on the Daily Huddle. It's 9:32 and we're at the bottom of the half hour. And it's time for us to say goodbye in this way. David.
Yes.
Your last comment for this morning, and pretend that this last comment is the one that's just going to alter your life by saying it. What would you say?
I would say that life is a one-time deal. As far as I know, we only get one time at this. If they put you in a body bag today, are you happy with the way that you lived your life? Or would there be regrets? I'm telling you, but if there are any regrets, change the way you live and change your life. If I could actually tell any of you to do anything, not to promote a book, but to just change the way you think, grab my book, Walking Like a Giant, because I go back and read it, and it's not meant to be a book, but it's meant to be a guide. And I go back myself and remind myself of where I should be, and it will do the same for you. It will just remind you of where you should be to get ultimately what you want. That's what I tell myself daily.
Thank you, David. Thank you for being the giant who made his life's purpose causing other giants. You're amazing, my friend.
Thank you.
Having you on the Daily Huddle is a real gift. So you had us stand and create ourselves as giants. And now I request that we stand and applaud the giant that you are. So will you join me in saying, David is a giant?
Thank you.
All right, David.
We love you,
you.
David. And so it's time to end the morning. We'll see you on Monday morning. And we're going to end in the only way to end the Daily Huddle. And that is with the lovely Patty Dabrowski telling us how to live a great life, have a great skin, be sexy for the rest of your life. If you've got a gut right now, you do these things, you're going to get a six-pack. And Patty, go for it.
So love passionately, laugh uproariously, stress less, eat wisely, and move like nobody's watching.
Yay. And
Well, thank you. Thank you. It was great. Great. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Great conversation.
Yeah. Oh, no music.
It's this little tiny music today. Hang on.
You can still dance for this. You can still move like the water.
Okay.
In my heart.
Ready? Hang on, hang on, hang on. Here we go. Bye.